In an era of endless streaming options, Universal has given horror fans the ultimate gift, a 24/7 free channel packed with the original monsters that started it all. It's now live on Pluto TV, Samsung TV Plus, Amazon Freevee/Live TV, Roku, Zumo Play, and more. Tonight, we're celebrating the channel, the films, their massive cultural footprint, and what Universal has in store to keep the monsters alive on the next episode of the Red River Horror Podcast.
Welcome to the Red River Horror Podcast, where the channels of fear wind through the shadows of your darkest nightmares. From cursed horror films and bone-chilling tales to whispered interviews and the desolate echoes of abandoned places, we explore every sinister current. Grip your oars tightly and brace for the journey ahead. Now, guiding you through the murky waters, your host, Joe Zakrzewski, joined by Red River Horror founder, Eddie Caiazzo.
Giddy up. Welcome back to the Red River Horror Podcast. This is episode number 128. I am Joe Zakrzewski, joined by RedRiverHorror.com founder Eddie Caiazzo. Hey, Ed, how's it going?
Joe, I'm doing fantastic. It's good to see you, brother.
Oh, likewise, man. It's good to be in studio and not on the Zooms direct, so.
Yeah, a little more intimate.
Yes.
Which horror is supposed to be. It's supposed to be intimate. We all feel it.
I know. You want to be immersed. Not from, that's the fun part about horror, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're going to be talking the Universal Monster Channel that has just been unleashed. I think we have playing in the background for folks to be able to see it. So, no, some good stuff. I'm interested in checking it out because it seems like if you get any type of streaming stick like a Roku or a Fire or probably even Chromecast at this point, or if you have a smart TV, or it just those free channels always pop up. And half the time it's like, what am I looking at? And a lot of it's just nonsense, but there's some gems hidden among those random channels that are playing the same things over and over again. And it looks like we got a new one with the Universal Monsters channel on, Pluto, Samsung TV, Zumo, whatever the heck Amazon's not charging for right now.
So I actually had a question about that to start there.
Yeah.
So Dr. Halloween at Halloween time, he has been on the show in a little while.
Yeah.
But he does help us. He contributes his 31 Days of Halloween because it's always different.
Yes.
And he was talking about this Universal Monsters channel because I know on Sundays during the season, that's when he likes to take in the warm glow of the black and white, all that stuff. And he was speaking about this. So I was looking for it. Couldn't really find it until Christmas break. And so in my living room, I have Samsung TV Plus. That's what my day job, like that's what my one shows the channels on there, Samsung TV Plus. Then I got a Zumo TV for the studio, right? And then I started using Pluto because that's what a lot of other people were using. So Pluto, I wanted to ask you this first.
Yep.
You've tried all these.
Pretty much, yeah, just from clicking around out of curiosity.
Okay, what have you found to be the best so far out of these, like, I don't know what they're called, over-the-top streaming services, or they offer like all these channels?
I mean, kind of a coin flip between Roku and Pluto. Just because better navigation. Zumo was okay. Samsung TV Plus gets on my nerves.
Okay.
Because I also have Samsung TV in my house, in my living room. And that damn TV Plus will just start playing on its own when I don't want anything on. And I'm like, stop.
You hit exit.
Yeah.
And it goes to whatever channel you were on.
I leave what other app I was in, exit, get back to the home page, and it just starts playing. And I've messed around with the settings 100 times, and I'm a little frustrated with Samsung TV Plus.
Okay, so not a fan there. I understand, but that's what a lot of people have is this Samsung TV Plus and all these channels. I found Pluto because again, like the only real time I had was kind of over Christmas break to navigate some of this stuff, and then I wanted to watch the Screams leading up to when we saw Scream 7. Pluto is Paramount's streaming service.
Okay,
and it has the most channels. And not over Christmas break. Now, you're able to get them now because there's been another Friday the 13th, but all the Friday the 13ths made by Paramount, they're there. And not just that, but the Screams. So on the Pluto Terror, Pluto Horror, I think they have like 3 horror channels.
Okay.
They actually have had the screams running, I felt like I was watching a marathon back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched Scream 1 through 6 all the way through. On demand now are the Friday the 13th movies, but also is this Universal Monsters channel that I leave because if I'm watching TV, it's mostly in the living room. And when I do that, I leave the channel on. So what you were saying, how you stop Samsung TV Plus or you just don't want to watch anything or whatever, but then it resorts to that. So I have my Samsung TV now resorting to that. And it's like, huh, this is pretty cool. And I've seen some real gems. So, uh, and it's all free.
Yeah, it's free. That's
Yes.
that's the best part of it, especially for, you know, something like classic monsters, because it's like, well, what's the point? Why does it even matter? Some of these films are coming up on 100 years.
Phew.
That's historically significant. This is what changed the game, set the tone uh, for the future of what became a genre we love, which is the horror genre. The other thing is, if you are someone who is interested in learning film and you are used to seeing all the different special effects that are out there, and maybe you want to do some more practical work, learning about these movies and how they're made, seeing how it's done in action, some great practical effect learning from watching, at least, or especially the makeup. The
Yeah.
makeup's huge.
Now going back to the roots of horror, which is pretty sweet. And it's amazing to me just how Universal has become like kind of where we base all of these like these things off of. I don't want to say monsters, it's too easy, but that's what I guess Hammer, then the English version, the
Yeah.
British version, they then took it. But I didn't realize just what effect Universal has had on this space. Not because I wasn't raised on this stuff. I think I said this to you and Dr. Halloween before. I wasn't raised on the Universal horror
Sure.
movie monsters, but I knew Frankenstein. I knew the Mummy. I knew the Invisible Man. I knew
Well, when you think of them, what you see is the Universal monster version.
yeah.
When you think of Dracula, you're not thinking of a different Dracula. You're seeing the Universal monster version in your head. When you think of the Mummy, that's the one you see. The Wolfman, and of course, one that I'm hoping, I got to double check that because I keep going back and forth between, Swamp Thing's been done a couple times, but keeps not looking interesting. And hopefully, when we go in the classic monster theme, the Creature of the Black Lagoon
Yeah,
gets
baby.
something cool because I always thought that was the coolest one.
Absolutely. And I've only caught, so I have that we purchased that from via video,
Mm-hmm.
the creature from the Black Lagoon sitting over our shoulder. That I still haven't sat down to watch it, but through this Universal Monsters channel, I've been able to finally see some of the direction, some of the work
Yeah.
on that movie. I haven't watched it in its entirety yet, and I'm very excited to because one thing about this Universal Monsters channel, while it's amazing, they save a lot of the stuff that you're familiar with to very random hours.
Okay.
So sometimes on a Saturday, you'll see you'll see the first Dracula, and then you'll see a bunch of spin-offs that have been made, by Universal. That's fine. So like I've caught bits and pieces of The Creature of the Black Lagoon, then there's a sequel to it and all
Okay.
that stuff. But yeah, I wanna get into some of these specifically and what you'll find on the Universal Monsters channel. And it starts with Dracula in 1931,
The OG.
the OG.
It's the first one that got the Dracula name. As we discussed in a previous episode, the whole Nosferatu difference is because they couldn't get the naming rights to Dracula.
So Universal paid.
Yeah, sure did. Someone with some more money and able to put some audio behind it. So,
Yeah, yeah, people talking Bela Lugosi.
yep.
And there's also a Spanish language version on
Not
this channel.
uncommon for the era.
Okay.
So, if you go back into like the 30s, 40s, a lot of productions would have a Spanish language version as well. One of my favorite things is if we get into the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, not to get too off topic, but all those were also made for Spanish-speaking audiences. So
Hmm.
like the Smurfs in Spanish aren't like Los Smurfs. They have their own branding. They're their own thing. It's Los Pitufos.
Hmm.
So you can go down like the Hanna-Barbera thing. You go down a lot of Universal um, properties and you'll see that even Disney.
Interesting.
So like Los Caballeros was designed for a Spanish speaking audience.
Now, do you know off the top of your head, did they have to then record two versions of the movie?
I think it's dubbed because the
Okay.
sound was still separate.
I was gonna say can you imagine?
Yeah. No,
We won't be doing that
no.
when we finally make our film, which is coming out. Just a little plug, by the way.
Yeah.
We are moving the ball forward after 5 years of the Red River Horror Podcast. No, six. We're coming up on 6 years. So 5.5 years. The movie project is moving forward. We will talk about that later. Popcorn Pusher's friend, Tom.
Tom Peeler. Yeah. So that's, we have meetings coming up. We're starting to get the groundwork laid out. Thanks to other guy, Steve Feast, for putting in the help. We're going to be
Yep.
making this all happen as the planning phase gets going. And then we should be filming at some point in 2026. And then it's off to the festival circuit again. We'll be back.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good to be back out there.
it'll be both. It'll be great.
So if you have Dracula, that's a big deal. Frankenstein, big deal. So did Universal pay, do you know, for Frankenstein to use the book Mary Shelley's? Because I'm thinking if Dracula had the big problem back in the day.
I'd imagine a lot of those, I'll look it up while we're
Yeah.
going, but off the top of my head, by this point in American history, a lot of that copyrights are now in place to establish payments of royalties. So that's my guess, is that they were able to pay whatever estates. And let's
Well, the reason I ask is we've seen these movies done now so many times. So like when you think of, you know, my first introduction, like of course I saw the clip shows that they put together, or if Universal was promoting a milestone. So let's say like 85 years, 90 years, whatever it was. They'd put they'd put Bela Lugosi. You knew who he was. You knew that the modern versions of Dracula that you were seeing were based off of him, and his portrayal of the character. And also, when we were younger, there was a big movie that people absolutely love, Joe. It's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola one. And I've gone back and watched it. It's fine. It was a little too campy for me. When we
sure.
watched it for the first time, I'm like, whoa. But I did overlook the cinematography, the costumes, the special effects, like all that stuff was done very well. But when we first saw it, I don't know that I was ready for that kind of that kind of production, a Coppola production of Dracula.
No, it was that's an odd one, but
Yeah.
you know, set Keanu Reeves back a little bit.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's what put the bad actor label on him, because
Ah,
he had been doing, some goofy roles, but then, Point Break was
right.
getting some recognition, and then Dracula, he just gets a lot of flack for his bad English accent. And yeah, what are you gonna do?
And history has been very kind to Keanu. They love him now.
I mean, he's been kind to himself and kind to others, and that's what's earned him
Yeah.
a whole new level of recognition. It's like everybody, he's just Mr. Nice Guy, takes care of the people who work on sets with him, you know, has his band Dog Star where he's not even the front man. He just stands off to the side and plays bass. So, hey, much love to Keanu.
Much love to Keanu.
But
Okay, so
I got the numbers.
okay.
Well, at least for Frankenstein.
Yes.
Frankenstein, so that was published in 1818. So by 1918, it's public domain. So it
Oh,
was already public domain by the time they got their hands on it. Dracula, they paid 40 grand.
okay.
So 40K.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, back then, I mean, for inflation, it's probably pushing quarter a mil.
Hmm.
So close to a mil, yeah.
So we have Dracula kicking it off in 1931. Frankenstein released the same year. The Mummy. Question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been scared of mummies?
No,
Me neither.
no. Fascinated by mummies.
Yeah.
Scared of mummies, no. I always thought it was funny looking. Like it just they made me laugh more than, and it's also if you've listened to this show, the mummy doesn't move very fast.
No.
So what scares me? Something that runs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now the mummy didn't do it for me, but I appreciate it. I should have watched. I was tempted to watch the Tom Cruise one as they were trying to rebrand
Yeah.
the Universal monsters, but I wrote it off. I'm just like, man, I wish there was more Brendan Fraser mummies. Guess what?
Uh,
There, we got more coming. But
well, that's what's funny. So the Mummy is what just because we're '90s kids, Joe.
yep.
I mean, not like we weren't born in the '90s, but that's when our pop culture frame of reference started. I think like past the influence from our parents when we started to do our own things.
Oh yeah.
And the Mummy was huge. Like the Brendan Fraser Mummy was a big deal. I had no idea at the time that it was made off of this classic Universal Monsters Mummy.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much fun. The classic monsters one, I mean, I will confess sometimes I have a hard time getting through those. I have to be in the right mood for the pace.
Sure.
I have been tempted now that there is a free channel. I might flip it on to watch all the different little sequels. So there's what like the
Yes.
Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's was it the Revenge of the Mummy?
There's quite a bit of them. The Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's Tomb,
Yeah.
and they will like Universal Monsters Channel. They will play them, and that's where I've kind of been caught at the time of day that I'll tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see some of that stuff. Like you have to kind of plan.
Yeah.
Like yes, you can watch a lot of this stuff on demand now on your preferred. You could just pay for it and go ad free completely. But I like this idea, Joe. You know what a huge fan I am of like Fear Fest.
Sure.
It's kind of one of the things that shaped, like I never thought of the 31 days of Halloween when I was younger. It was just all kind of leading up to that day, and you did cool things in the season, and you carved pumpkins and all that stuff. So AMC Fear Fest is big to me in that I never thought of like sitting down and waiting for a movie. And then even Dr. Halloween saying, well, sometimes you go to the movie rental store and they wouldn't have one of the ones that you wanted to put on your 31 days of Halloween. So then
Yeah.
you'd have to wait for Fear Fest, and this is before DVR to play it. So you'd have to kind of gather around. Like I remember I had to watch Halloween, the Michael Myers, Halloween 1 and 2. My
Yep.
dad wouldn't show me the OGs, but they ended up coming on the USA network.
Right.
So that's how I saw that for the first time. So this is kind of I've been using this Universal Monsters channel to kind of
Get familiar.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, get my chops.
Yeah. Hey, trying to think the other thing that didn't bother me about mummies is that by the time I had seen that movie, I had already seen a mummy in person. So they have
Ah.
them at the Academy of Natural Sciences downtown. I think there was a display. I mean, there have been displays at the Franklin Institute a few times. Um,
Yeah, King Tut was when we were kids, King Tut did come through.
he did. He's come
Um,
through twice.
wow. And that was and he's been coming through for a while. Like even when my dad was a kid in school, like they
Yeah,
saw King Tut.
it's crazy. So that could be a whole different thing if you want me to go down the line of mummies in history. The craziest part, though, was in the 19th century. People like, you know, archaeologists. What they would do is, I mean, they would dig them up, bring them back to usually Britain, other parts of Europe, and grind them up and turn them into tonics and elixirs, and
All right
thinking
then.
that there's some magic there. So yeah, we've lost a lot of. There was an abundance of mummies, and people in the Victorian era did some really weird things, but they also came up with a lot of the ideas that shaped the Universal Classic
Right.
monsters outside of some of the weird stuff they did. But that's more homework for me. Maybe that would be maybe the whole idea of a mummy coming back to haunt people came from how, a century of eating and putting mummies on display, you know. So should have done a little more homework on that. But now I've piqued my curiosity to look some more into what inspired the mummy being a classic monster.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because I'm fascinated just to see like who's afraid of what.
Yeah.
So you know me, like I'm not a huge as far as like I'm not being afraid. I'm not really afraid of zombies all that much. Mummies never really scared me. The idea of Frankenstein scares me.
Hmm.
Vampires scared me at one time. They don't really scare me anymore. I don't know if we just got hit really hard with the Twilight stuff and it was mainstream for so long that it just kind of nullified. Because like I figured like my last like I did enjoy vampires. They did scare me.
Oh yeah.
My dad would watch shows back in the day where there was a show called Sightings where there were people who like thought they really were vampires. So that when you're a kid, it's just like, oh crap, that
Sure.
person's a vampire. That creeps me out. Um, but it never really got to me. Like when I was younger, it did. John Carpenter's Vampires was amazing. Love that. That's a bright spot. Um, But then by the time we got to Twilight's vampires, it took something from me. I just wasn't into. I know that there's a whole culture and a whole fandom behind vampires in the horror space. I
Sure.
just am not really a part of it at this current time.
Now, there was an overexposure that went on for a long time. You know, if you want to go in the Twilights, True Blood, Vampire Diaries,
Yeah.
1,000 other movies to accompany that, like
Yeah.
just on the same realm. There was definitely I'm with you that I felt vampire fatigue
Yeah.
and was waiting for someone to do it with like a more clever twist. Once again, no offense to Ryan Coogler, but we could talk about, Me with Sinners, where it's like, there wasn't anything special to those vampires, which is fine.
I get you.
Not a problem, whatever. But Flanagan, I think, did it the best, and that was with Midnight Mass to make me enjoy vampires again.
Okay, so if you could hold there.
Yeah.
So one of the things over the Easter season that I started watching,
Yeah.
first show that I've watched in a long time, Midnight Mass.
Oh,
'Cause-
final. It's been what, 7 years?
Yeah.
6 years.
Yes, it's been long enough, and I finally so I don't know, I want to spoil it, but I finally just got to the part where that happens, like where you see,
He's in the cave.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Which is Isn't that creepy?
it is creepy.
Don't tell me that's not creepy.
That is
That was
creepy.
the scene where I'm just like,
Flanagan,
that's it.
Flanagan,
Nailed it.
he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if it were anybody else, and
Mhm.
it took you that long to get to what we're actually dealing with here,
Yeah.
I would have had a problem with it. But I will tell you that I was on the edge of my seat, even at Flanagan's pace,
Yeah.
till we got to that point.
Yeah.
So
It's very good. I'm glad you're finally watching.
Yes.
I'll tell Joe D as soon as possible.
All right, so I'm gonna hang my hat on the hopes that Flanagan's gonna bring it home for me, and I will once again enjoy vampires the way that I did when I was young, when I was fresh in the genre, and I liked them a lot more.
Yeah. I think it just comes down, you got to shake it up.
Yeah.
And which is really hard to do when there's so many other options out there. And I know people really love Sinners, but it's like everything else about Sinners was great.
Hmm.
So I'll just
All right, well, we'll save
leave it at that.
little tease for the next episode, Red River Horror viewers / listeners. We will be talking about horror cleaning up at the Oscars this year.
Yeah, we'll be
Absolutely cleaning up, so we could save our Sinners thoughts to them. But
Yep.
just to go back through what we mentioned, the OGs, the Universal monsters, Dracula, the Mummy, all the sequels, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolfman, something that we haven't gotten to yet, but like all of these Universal monsters are now in a channel that is free to you if you have a Samsung TV, if you have a Roku stick, if you have Zumo, which I have on behind me because it was
Yeah.
the cheapest one. Joe, I like to save money, and this is Zumo TV. I never knew what Zumo was. It's just pretty much all like those things. Pluto, which I found over Christmas, was my favorite by far. But one cool thing before we move on,
Mhm.
these crossovers that our parents used to talk about when we were younger. So
Sure.
the Abbott and Costello meet the Frankenstein.
Seen that one many times.
Yes, so that's there.
Yeah, that's on there.
Mhm.
All right. So we got Abbott and okay, little Abbott and Costello.
Mhm. The Munsters they play sometimes. Now I've read about them playing the Munsters. I have not come across the Munsters in my usual Universal monsters, even when the channel's just on.
Yeah.
As you so hate with your Samsung TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when it's just on, when I turn the TV on, I still have not come across the Munsters yet.
I've not either. I wouldn't be so angry.
Yeah. So any of your favorites from this era, like something that has spoken to you, because you may not be as, I don't want to say I'm green, I just haven't done the deep dive. Like when Dr. Halloween was talking about watching these on a Sunday, it's like, okay, I get you.
Sure.
That's what I want to do. But have you dove into the Universal monsters more, and who?
I've seen all the originals.
Okay.
I have never dug too deep to say that I'm like a huge fan of them. I think they're just something I had to know. They come into play, one of my favorite things on page and on screen in every different way it's come is It.
Yes,
And we get the shout outs to the Universal monsters in It.
we do. In the
which is
book.
especially in the book.
Yeah.
And then also, in the TV series, the miniseries, they use get the mummy, get the Wolfman. Well, they're watching the Wolfman.
Right.
Um, or are they watching the creature of the Black Lagoon and then he gets,
I'm not sure. I did watch
yeah,
Welcome to Derry.
yeah.
I did watch it. And another teaser. So we got the
Well, I'm
movie.
talking about the Pennywise, the 1990, what was it,
Oh,
91?
what they're watching in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tim
So
Curry,
the teenage werewolf.
yeah, the two-part TV made for TV movie.
Yes. So with
Yes.
that, but you brought something else up.
Yeah.
Joe will be doing the It Welcome to Derry. We did a little pilot type thing that I put up there on the Red River Horror Instagram, and on TikTok at Red River Horror, and it's getting kicked around by some viewers.
All right.
So leading up to the second season of It Welcome to Derry, a little teaser for you. Joe will be doing the 30 Seconds to Derry special.
We will. We'll bring 30 Seconds to Derry back into the fold. We'll make some more of those. That'll be a lot of fun. I really can't wait for that second season, especially because you already kind of know what it's going to be,
Yeah.
and that's exciting.
But it did
Give
capture
me
the
more.
essence. Something you told me when you were trying to bring me around to it. I was going to watch it. I just
Yeah.
needed to find the time, and I wasn't too crazy about the pilot episode. I got into it though. Like I'm a big Stephen King fan. It is probably the genesis of our horror love, so I get it. Um, I finally came around to it and I watched it. And one thing that it did really well and that I appreciated ties right back to these Universal monsters is it did bring those fears. Like some of the things that Stephen King was talking about in the book that we didn't really have time for in the movies, we get to see in Welcome to Derry.
Yep.
So it's pretty fun.
Yeah. But as for if I have to pick a favorite
Yes.
of the classics, it's going to be the creature from the Black Lagoon. It always has been. It just weirded me out. And if there was anything, it'd be water that
Yeah.
gets to me for a little bit. So, especially like brackish water because you can't see.
Hmm.
So it's like when I'm in a body of water and I can't see where my feet are, usually makes me a little uneasy.
Fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm out in the ocean, here up in the Jersey coast, can't see my feet.
No.
I'm in there, just surrounded by green. Random things are touching my legs, might step on something.
And something we teased early in the podcast, we never got to do it, but that doesn't mean we can't, because I know they do it nationwide now. If we still had Joasis and you watched Jaws
I know.
in Joasis, would that get to, like would that sensory experience, like I know we're adults and you're a lot more logical now, of course, but like would something, all right, maybe not Joasis.
Yeah.
What if it were,
Watching Jaws in a pool.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it'd be fun.
yeah.
I don't know if it would like really get to me, but the idea I thought was just really great. Goddamn groundhogs. Goddamn wasps. Goddamn home ownership.
If ever I'm in a pool, it's always the mosquitoes that get to me.
Yeah, they'll do that.
And you're just helpless.
Yeah.
You can only have your head popped up over the water and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where they're trying to set up shop. So
Yeah.
they get in there. But I don't know. Creature from Black Lagoon. And I avoided the most recent version of The Bride.
Okay.
So there was that remake or revisioning of The Bride of Frankenstein that came out
Yes.
this year.
Hmm.
So it's 2026 release. Very, very mixed reviews. I have people who tend to review always with a positive spin.
Right.
Even dropped the hammer on it and said this is not so good.
Right.
However, person associated with us did not hate it so much, right?
No. So
Yeah,
just
if I recall Stacy's article on redriverhorror.com.
so go to redriverhorror.com if you
Yeah.
want to read Stacey Lane Wilson's take on The Bride. But that was, you are right, now a callback to The Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And just to go through these real quick, and then we can move on. Dracula in 1931, and that launched, as you said, that Universal put the sounds to it, put the music to it, like they actually had actors portraying and talking and all that fun stuff.
Bela Lugosi's face is still known to this day.
Absolutely. Frankenstein, 1931, same year. Boris Karloff, sympathetic monster, iconic design, still copied today. I remember one of my Halloween costumes was Freaky Frank. The Mummy, also Boris Karloff. The Invisible Man, 1933. That was a special effects. That was a big one for the special effects game.
Sure was. And you really enjoyed the, modernization version of The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss.
I did.
He did.
I didn't know how. I guess I should have trusted. It's kind of like when James Wan releases a true horror movie and it's
Mhm.
actually directed by him or the story's really by him,
Yeah.
that it's just like you just trust it. It's going to be fine. I should have done the same with Lee Wano. So
Trust.
it was, but we were headed right into COVID. That was 2020. It like saw, I think, a week in theaters, and then it
Yeah.
became one of those movies that was like a $20 buy that you
Yeah.
could watch, and we did, and I
Yeah.
liked it. So I don't know who else could have brought it to the modern era, but I thought The Invisible Man was done really well.
Yeah, no, it worked.
Yeah.
It's a concept that doesn't seem like it would be very good, but if like in a modern sense, but no, it worked out really well.
And obviously, Frankenstein is written by Mary Shelley, a woman. 1935, we get from Universal Bride of Frankenstein, and often called the greatest sequel ever made. Feminist undertone,
Mhm.
still a little campy like the Universal monsters can be, but um,
Yeah.
still to this day, we got the bride.
We've got the bride. And every
Mhm.
time I hear it, I think of the Wednesday 13th song, Bride of Frankenstein. I think he's done, I mean, he references the Universal Classic Monsters all the time in his lyrics. So there's just one that's specifically dedicated to the Bride of Frankenstein called The Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so one we haven't talked about yet, 1941's The Wolf Man. We talked about it briefly. I was also, so it's just funny, like how even though, we talk about Big Ed, we talk about the basement, all the influence that we've seen from our friends who worked at video rental stores, all the things we've talked about on the Red River Horror podcast, didn't realize that I was, for Halloween as a Ute, two of these things. I was Freaky Frank one year, Frankenstein, and I was the Wolfman because I had this really cool mask that I got from the when West Coast Video did go out. That place Halloween Adventure went in,
Hmm.
and it was ripped a little bit, so it was only like $27. So I was the Wolfman too, and of course, the Creature of the Black Lagoon, which you've said is your favorite Universal monster.
Yeah. I mean, I just always thought it was the coolest looking one. Gave me the weirdest creeps. Like, remember going back the woods and if you hit like certain parts of the creek before it really like filled out,
Hmm.
there's like little pockets of like water back the woods where it was
Yeah.
just, it looks like a swamp.
Hmm.
So that always stuck with me.
Absolutely
Yeah.
does.
So either Creature from the Black Lagoon, Swamp Thing, or just leeches in general.
Mm. Which I'm surprised I never got because one of those bodies of water that
Mm.
we were talking about before, Houston Meadow,
Yeah.
where we had our in the winter, the black figure up in
Yeah.
the trees. Back in Houston Meadow, there's one of those pooled bodies of water,
Yeah.
and I just walked back there to test it for our eighth grade science class,
Yeah.
and there was stuff moving in it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't drink that.
No, no, definitely not.
Not without boiling it.
Mm-mm.
Filter it. Oh, ugh.
So we established the Universal Monsters. If you haven't seen them, there is now a channel that's Pluto, Zumo, Samsung TV Plus, all these channels, Amazon. Um, if you need to catch up on your Universal Monsters, there's a place to do it. And what's cool is you do have the guide. You have the
Yeah.
guide so you can know what's coming if you know you're going to be watching some random mummy sequel. You can avoid it if you'd like.
Damn right. And also, I mean, we're in the spring, approaching the early summer. It's the rainy season. So you're going to get more of those rainy days. You want to lock it in. Maybe you want to have a little marathon, put up some popcorn, watch some classic monsters, relax.
Nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't really need to think too much either.
No.
You can just watch. There's not going to be any crazy twists and turns that are going to make you try and figure out the whodunits.
It's not. And Joe, I've been doing because I've been walking a whole lot.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I just lost 40 pounds. Thank you, PhD weight loss, very, very much. Um, so as an endorser of PhD weight loss, I do a walk after every meal. So I went
Okay.
back and was listening to a lot of Red River Horror
Oh,
podcasts,
oh yeah.
and I got to the really good stuff where we were talking about because you and I were having an ongoing argument in fun
Sure.
about the Silence of the Lambs,
Yes.
and we would ask anybody that we brought onto the show if it was a horror movie or not. You saying that it was not a horror movie, me saying that it was, and Daniel Farrens, who wrote Halloween 6, said, well, it was elevated horror.
Right.
And he introduced that term. I swear, until Daniel Farrens said it on our podcast, and then Scream 2022 or whatever year it was, I didn't know what elevated horror was.
Yeah. I mean, it's the higher quality, I guess, is where you want to put it in. The, bigger budget, better writing, their Silence of the Lambs 7 you would throw in there. The Bone Collector. I got to get out of the 90s real quick and try and think of something more modern, but Long Legs.
Well, they say
that's why people compare Long Legs to Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. There is that comparison. Well,
yeah.
The funny thing is to the rescue from the top rope, Nick Cush from Movie Babble, who used to write for the site, moviebabble.com. He used to write for Red River Horror. So I'm kind of we're in that period of the podcast and we're talking about elevated horror. I'd never heard about it before. And Nick Cush is just like, oh, I hate when people say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. So coming to the defense. But you're right. Like the Universal monsters, it's pretty straightforward. Are there underlying tones to these stories? Of course there are. Is there a message? Of course there is. But you do not have to go digging very far to hear it, to see it, and to feel I would say the groundwork for horror that has been laid there. You don't have to do too much to work for it. You just watch it.
No, this is I'm laying on the couch. There's nothing I can do. All my chores is done, or I'm trying not to do the chores that I need to get done. I just need to waste away with a blanket and a recliner. That's a winner, at least for me.
Yep.
I'm down with it. So
Universal Monsters, and what's cool about this channel, and so obviously Comcast, based in Philly, they own Universal, the whole brand, the whole deal, the theme parks, NBC, all of it. I guess the people that are over top of the Universal horror movies brand convinced the people at Comcast, just like, we really need one of these channels to kind of highlight this history here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even draw up some excitement with the new park at Universal Studios that does have a Universal Monsters section. So very much looking forward to checking that out at some point in the not so distant future either. So
it's been one of those elusive things for me. I haven't been able to get to any of the Universal Halloween Horror Nights, which I would love to, because they have the classic monsters and they're walking around and the makeup's unbelievable. But they also, they'll have trademark themes that they'll buy each year. So like when I saw Halloween 4, I'm like, why is there a Halloween 4 haunted house? It's just like, oh, because they bought the rights to put on put those characters on and all that stuff. So it's really, really cool. But in Vegas, I did not get to go, unfortunately, but they also have like a year-round Universal Horror Land type thing.
All right.
So
yeah,
very exciting. All right. So some of these re-releases, have you seen the new Wolfman?
I've not yet.
Okay, I haven't either. The Mummy reboot. You're interested?
Very.
Okay.
I got to watch that new Wolfman too, though. So.
All right. Other projects in the works from the Universal Monster verse. Apparently, Kevin Williamson from Scream, writer, director of the newest Scream, but he's writing an adult-oriented version of the Universal Monsters in a TV series described as, quote, Vampire Diaries in Monsterland. Interest you or no?
Ooh. I never said you couldn't, but maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. I mean, it's a shame. Williamson's getting a lot of heat in horror forums. Not a lot of people like Scream 7 as much as we did.
No.
His name is getting thrown around a lot for sloppy writing, where it's like, what the hell did he have to work with?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my rebuttal to that.
And you don't have Wes with him to fine tune it. That's the thing.
It's also the 7th installment in something that really does not need any additional installments.
Right. Well, and
it has completely run its course, and it's like you're grasping at straws to keep something going.
They are. Yeah. And the problem is that I think Scream 8 has already been greenlit just because Scream 7 was such a box office success. So, but like Nev Campbell's excited about it. Kevin Williamson's excited about it. I mean,
Hey, they're getting paid.
they're getting paid.
Who doesn't like getting
Right.
who doesn't like getting paid? So
Especially Hollywood money.
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Though, once again, and I will say it again, shouldn't have done it. That should have been a clean, full-on reboot, revision, and then using AI integration, because that's the next technology that's going to be as abundant as cell phones are.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been the perfect way to hide someone's identity and have a new killer for Scream. It would have been perfect,
You're
but
right.
I'm not out there. Someone, give me money.
A lot of people paid to see it. Well, that's what. All right.
We did.
Yeah, we did. I paid a lot too because
we sure did.
We did the chair that moved, which
pretty cool.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So yeah, the Kevin Williamson adult oriented Universal monsters probably don't need that.
We'll see.
They gave us this channel. I'm in for that. Dark Universe land at Universal Epic Universe opened in 2025.
Yep.
That's exciting. So yeah, I guess we'll have to carry on the spirit of the Universal monsters, catch up on all the Universal monsters on this lovely channel.
Absolutely.
That they've given us. And if you're ever curious about seeing all of them, and then just one other nugget before we go, Joe, because it was made by Universal, I actually got to watch Halloween 2 on the Universal Monsters channel.
Ah, fantastic. So Michael Myers is a Universal monster.
Yeah.
All right.
How cool is that?
How about that? That's fantastic news.
So we'll be on the lookout. Maybe we'll get in the big fancy chair at the Oak Center Cinema to see the new Mummy. Maybe
a regular chair.
Maybe a regular chair. I don't know. But thanks, Joe. I discovered this. I spent a lot of time with the Universal Monsters channel, and I'm encouraging Red River Horror fans, if you need to get your foundation of horror in line like I do, you're gonna want to check this out. It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yep.
It's free for me. It's free for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go watch some Universal Monster movies. And hey, if you get down there before we do, if anyone's been to the new Epic Universe at Universal, let me know if it's worth it. So I got lucky. Last time I went to Universal, it would be considered a crappy day for Florida. It was a Wednesday or a Thursday in February, like 64 degrees out. So the park was empty compared to how it normally is, and I got to really take advantage of little Springfield. I had a Duff and a Krusty Burger, and didn't have to wait in line too long for many things. So actually there was like a Mummy live show that was there, so I did catch that while I was there.
I love that ride.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So
the Mummy ride.
Yeah.
At Universal. Holy crap.
It's a good time. That's a great time.
That's probably one of my favorite rides ever.
Yeah. So looking forward to getting back down there.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, follow along all of it. We are covering so much. We have a big spring ahead. A lot of great releases. 2026 has been huge thus far. Follow us, all the action at Red River Horror on Instagram, at River Horror on X. I think on TikTok it's red.river.horror. I have to check, but
yeah.
You guys have really been liking the TikTok. The only thing that didn't do well was a movie trailer. So the attention span on TikTok is not that big, as we know.
That's the point. Right?
So I threw up one of the trailers that we were pitched up on TikTok. That didn't do so well, but everything else is. So that's all I have, Joe.
All right. So, hey, remember, this was episode number 128 of the Red River Horror Podcast. And remember to keep traveling those channels of fear.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Red River Horror Podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and share. For great written horror content, go to redriverhorror.com. On Spotify or Apple Music, leave us a comment. Or if you have a thought about the show, just email redriverhorror@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and as always, thank you for following those channels of fear.